Hi everybody, good morning, welcome back. Here we are, refreshed and revitalised, aren't we, Carla?
As ever, we will
As ever,
be.
absolutely. We are Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Dave Bradford, and every month I come along to launch a brand new collection, which is what we did earlier in the 9 o'clock show. Thank you all so much for your orders. Thank you all for your messages on YouTube and Facebook. Yes, I'm on YouTube now as well as Facebook. I can do it, I can do it. We're here though to bring you the amazing Dreamland Safari. This collection is absolutely exquisite. We've all fallen in love with it. Obviously, with the animal theme, there's that kind of wildlife and wildlife park sort of connection to it. But also, it's very much like a new member of the family maybe arriving as well. So you can put your twist on it for all sorts of events and all sorts of occasions. I'll show you collection in just a second, but let me just show you the sort of cards that you can make. You can make simple, elegant, sophisticated cards like this, which is minutes to do, to be honest with you. Just an element here, an element there. Very stylish, very, very sophisticated. Lavinia in the design team has done this one. This is another very, very simple one as well, with the two monkeys linking tails together, because yep, that's one of the characters in this fantastic collection today. But then, of course, if you want to be a little bit bolder, you want to be a bit more adventurous, you can then start to play with more of the characters, bring in some of the fantastic florals and the foliage, be experimental with card shapes and that sort of thing, add numbers and words and sentiments to your card as well. So it's a sort of collection that is going to grow with you from the very, very simplest of cards right the way through to the more intricate and the more adventurous, like this. You'll see in a second, the Dreamland card shape not only makes amazing frames, amazing apertures, you can, with this collection, even make books that could become photo albums, that could become journals. If I open this up, this is done by Janine, one of the amazing design team. This is a storybook, but equally, I've just had a friend that's had a baby, and this would be perfect for them if I put pictures that they've sent me of the little Robin who's 3 weeks old. I could put that in an album, give that to mum and dad, and that would just go down so well. But look at what you can do with the Dreamland Safari dies. I've just got to let you know all the artwork, the vignettes, of course, which are always incredible, will be on the Carnation's website tomorrow, carnationcrafts.co.uk. So you can print those off absolutely free of charge tomorrow. But let me just show you the collection that you're investing today. All of these dies you're getting, I'll give you the details of them very, very soon. This is what's creating these cards. This is what you're going to have so much fun and enjoy so much putting together books, putting together cards. It is, of course, the Dreamland Safari. So, aren't they beautiful? Beautiful samples. Hopefully it's inspiring you to take the plunge, invest in this today, and it's, I'm sure, going to be so much fun to work with. But also think about the appeal of what you make to friends and family, the appeal of what you make to sell. Everyone loves animals, especially when they're carnation animals. The cuteness overload of this is incredible. But of course, if you don't want the animals in your project, you can just use the card shape on its own to make amazing books, journals, and amazing frames and amazing card blanks as well. The Dreamland Safari, let me just run through the details for you. It's 231001, that's the item number. You're going to get all the dies you can see here in the collection. Now, it should be $116.95. Today, though, we're giving you a great price of $89.99, but you'll get an extra 10% off for watching us on the launch day today for this. This is exclusive to us at Carnation Crafts TV at the moment. You can't find it anywhere else. CCDS10 is our thank you code, which will give you another £9 off the price. Okay, so it takes it down then to £80.99. If you want to use ClearPay, if you want to use PayPal Pay in 3, you can, of course, split the payments interest free if you want to do that. Having said that, though, if you'd rather pay in full, of course, debit or credit card, and it will be picked, packed and posted in a matter of moments after you've made your order. 30% of the entire stock of this collection has gone. I must just say, if you were watching that little clip that we showed you a few minutes minutes ago, you'll have seen a tree there. The family tree is a separate item that we'll come on to in just a second. But this is the collection. If you go for it today, amazing value for money. But more importantly, it's the story that you can tell with these collections today. Whether it is the wildlife aspect, whether it is the newborn aspect, whether it's just the beautiful Dreamland card shape you love so much. Carla's here, Taz is here, we're all here. Get in touch via Facebook, YouTube, however you want to say hi. We'll read out some messages a bit later on, but just look at this. We've all fallen in love with the characters, haven't we?
They're just so gorgeous, aren't they? So lovely. And it's, again, looking at ratio for height, width and length. You've got something for each of those, which means when you're building your card and your composition, it works perfectly. These are just beautiful. The artwork is absolutely stunning, and it's free to you.
And like the elephant's trunk, it's pointing to something. It's pointing to the baby, or it's pointing to the flowers, or whatever it wants to. So everything is designed with a purpose. It helps you create an amazing card that tells an amazing story, or an amazing book that tells an amazing story. Let's go through the boards then with Carla, because this is what you're getting for that brilliant price.
Yeah, so let's have a look at what you're getting and what you'll be playing with when you get them home. Obviously, if you order them today, Carnation will be packing and posting those. You might get them even tomorrow if you're very, very lucky. Sausages, but you'll need to get your orders in before 2 o'clock for that to even happen. The main card shape is one of the most extraordinary card shapes I have seen in a long time. Why? Well, because it does so much. It is not limited to one particular thing. It does loads. Now, for instance, this piece all concertinas and folds up to create the spine of a book that looks like it has been Coptic stitched. So you get to have that no effort at all. It's just folding some paper
And you've
together.
not coloured that. That's one of the vignettes.
That is part of the artwork, and then we can obviously change that round. So if you wanted to make something that was 3D, you can glue that side together as well and start making different shapes, doing different things with it. It can become a lot of things. It depends what you want it to be. So from that, we've also got your main card shape, and this has got the most gorgeous play on apertures, because we can create multi-layered apertures. I'm just going to bring this in. Apologies for it being on the demo, but I just want to show you. If I put it this way, so you can see where we're looking at the apertures here, you can see that we have got 3 layers. Now that is all from the same card base. It's just that we've got little pip marks that show us where to cut it to make the perfect, easy layered apertures. Super important to have, right? We can do an awful lot with that. It gives us a brand new leeway. We can shape them out using foam tape so we get that dimension.
And that was the demo, by the way, in the 9 o'clock show, which you can watch back either on Facebook or YouTube as well if you missed that show.
It means we've got loads of options, and this card shape will take us in so many places. There are different ways of playing, and I'll again show you another example with that spine as well. But when you see it looking like this, and then we bring in the colour.
Oh my word.
The change from one board to the next is absolutely extraordinary.
What other company gives you this?
None, but it's just, the impact of that is huge. You can see those layered assets coming through for your apertures, and you can see how easy they are to do, because all we're doing is taking off some pips on a shape that is very just plain.
I mean, it's
You
almost
just
like
put
you're
your
looking
pips in.
looking into an arena from above, isn't it? It's incredible.
Absolutely, and we did a full demo on that in the 9 o'clock show. You can see how they were cut into, really easy. But then you've got corner aspects here where you've got those strap lines that come across. Now you can choose to cut those if you want to, or you can have the full strap going around, which is really beautiful. You've got the inserts here which you can use, which are almost little doors. They're windows into those apertures for you, and you get to play however you wish to play, because we can create gorgeous, gorgeous little scenes with those doors. Same thing goes with these ones where you've got the sort of more frilly edge, if you like, that more curvature on the edge. This is very straight, that's very curvy. You've got the beautiful aspects. You've got the belt, which creates the book. If you want to create a book, you can create the closure for it using the Carnation magnets with those. So you've got the belt there as well, and you've got your sentiment holder, which is incredibly important. All your corner elements. There's so much. And guys, that's just one card shape. That's just one die in this collection that you're getting. You're always going to get the best value when you buy a bundle with Carnation, because they're going to put together a much bigger pack for you at a much lower price. And that's what they've done here. So you've got this incredible versatility with all this gorgeous stuff at a really, really low price for today. It's absolutely fantastic.
And in addition to the main collection, can I talk to you about this amazing family tree? Family tree, money tree, it could be a tree for anything, a tree of life. Look at how exquisite this is. Now, this is not in the main collection. This is a separate item which is on your screen now. It's 231007. It's only £34.99 for this. But imagine where these silhouettes are. Imagine if they were photographs of your family. If maybe they were photographs of the newborn, mum, dad, grandpa, nephews, nieces, aunties. Absolutely exquisite, this. And again, the artwork for this will be available to print off and download from the Carnation Crafts website tomorrow, absolutely free of charge. But the die will give you the outline and the shape, and you can actually make the tree into a 3D object, a 3D ornament, as it were, because you can slot the trunk of the tree together so it actually becomes a self-supporting, self-standing ornament. But I just love the idea of it being a tree, whatever the significance may be, whether it's good fortune, whether it's family, whatever it might be, the tree of life. You can literally personalize that tree however you wish. Another one here with the tree quickly. This doesn't have any photographs on it at all, but what it has got are some of the beautiful, beautiful flowers from the collection. Lavinia Newton's done this one. So how exquisite is this? 231007. If you'd like to go for the family tree today, 30% of this has gone since the launch of it at 9 o'clock this morning as well. And add that to your order. If you want to go for the two together, feel free. If you'd rather go just for the main collection, that's fine, of course, as well. And 1 P&P normally applies, but of course, if you're spending over £50, you don't have to pay postage at all. And this is an exclusive collection. It's brand new to us. You won't get that anywhere else. Now, I've got to show you some more finished cards here. Let me show you. Over. Oh, we've got another bit of the board to do. Sorry, beg your pardon. Thought we finished.
It's all right, Dave. You just
getting ahead of myself.
You were having a lovely time there. I'm just going to show you the rest of the main collection. So the first collection, obviously, you've got that incredible card shape. From that, you've got your gorgeous tropical florals here, and they're just so pretty, right? We've got your beautiful, beautiful pinks, yellows, and that harmonizing tone of orange coming through. All of this artwork is yours for free, and this is all drawn in-house by Nick, who is our creative director, and the team of artists he's got working with him. So they create everything in order to create a metal die from it, not the other way around like other companies have to do, because we design everything in-house. That means we get incredible line work and we get incredible detail. So when we take a carnation floral, it's very different to a different floral because we've got the ways to shape it, to sculpt it, to mold it, but also we've got that vivid color tone, and those vivid color tones come through just incredibly well in this collection because the tropical element is there. Tuck-ins all over the place. You've got every ability here to tuck in, create corners, create blooms, to just add aspects to it. These are a really important set of florals, and they're going to set you on your journey for crafting. Even if you're brand new and you've just started today, these will set you the really important tuck-in elements in your card.
Now, this is so adorable. Whether you're expecting a boy, a girl, or maybe you're not quite sure, you've got the blue and the pink for the boy, the girl, and you've also got two other colourways too.
You've got your green and your yellows for your in-case, and this is absolutely stunning. I love this so much. I was really, really taken with it. Not least because of its simplicity, but also because of its, you know, its impact when you see it. Because if you put that on some foam tape and you allow the shadows to play behind it, it's just glorious to look at. Really important piece, especially for baby cards, because often with baby cards we get kind of the same sort of things, whereas this is standout knockout. It's also snippable, so you can in fact use one of the creatures holding it. So you could bring in the stalk that's holding it. You've got all your snippability there. Everything can be cut down to make it what you want to be, and you can decoupage elements of those by cutting too. So you could make the balloon more prominent, make the baby more prominent. There's ways of playing with its really important pieces, and not least because of your cut lines that go down that allow us to shape. If you just want to squeeze those two sides together, it will shape out, because every cut line down here is going to give you that puffy additive to it, and it allows you to play in that way. Now, really good.
Nick and his team are just brilliant when it comes to the artwork. The vignettes, like we talked about earlier on, can be printed off from tomorrow. But look at these characters. The characters are what brings the story to life. The cheeky monkey.
The little cheeky
Much like
monkey.
yourself.
We've got the beautiful stalk. So remember, I was saying you can cut that balloon off the baby that's flying, and you can put the stalk on instead, so the stalk would be holding the baby in that more traditional sense of baby cards. You've also got your beautiful giraffe, and you've got your elephant. I was saying this morning, just remember when we're working with Carnation, things are done in a very specific way. The giraffe is tall, so we've got the length for borders for cards. You've got the width of the elephant if you want to create little corners that sort of go out to create sort of almost a diagonal shape. The elephant will point to a certain aspect in your card. The monkeys can be upside down or the right way around, depending on what you want to do, and they can interlink with their tails, which means we can create kind of a, not a banner at the top, but almost like a festoon, a triangle at the top. By having their tails intertwined, you can have one going each way. So really important for your aspects as well.
And you can put the little baby bottle in the hand. It's like the monkey's giving the baby bottle to the baby. It's so
just
cute.
Adorable, aren't they? They're so sweet. So those aspects are all coming in. Are they baby? Well, not really.
Don't
The
have to be.
stalk's absolutely beautiful just on its own on a card. It's really pretty just with those florals. So yes, it's got a baby theme to it, but it's not devoted to that, and that's a really strong thing with Carnation. They never kind of try and devote us just to one area. We can utilize it in many.
It's versatility. You can use it for so many occasions, so many different occasions you need to make a card for, not just new baby.
And remember, with Carnation, we often get matte layers for each of those big dies. So I'll just whip you back onto this one. So where you've got this, you not only have the animals that we're seeing here, but you also get your outside dies, so you can create a mat for them. They'll sit forward, and that gives them prominence in any card. So if you do want to use a strong piece of artwork, so say like you wanted to make something just with the elephant, if you use the matte layer as well as the die cut itself, this being the die cut, then you've got the matte layer behind it, you can really give it prominence in the center of a card as well. So really simple card making if you need it to be as well. Beautiful elements coming out, and we can get all of that, just that lovely shadow.
And when I first saw that top die, I thought, oh, it's a strip of lights. Well, it can be.
It can be anything you want it to be.
It's a washing light.
This banner can be anything that you want it to be. So it can be a card where it is like a little, if you think of the little, can you remember the pivot head florals that we did where you build your own florals? It's a little bit like that with a bunting. You can put all of the elements for baby on there. So little socks, shoes, you can break the socks in half so you can do individual shoes. You can put the romper suits on there, different visuals for you.
It's washing day.
Absolutely. You could put florals on there. You could put the little clouds and create almost like a mobile for a baby. It doesn't matter. You could hang the monkey from one of them, but it's just an element for visual for us. And because we're playing with apertures, those apertures allow us to have that hanging through the aperture and to have things hanging from it. So you get a really nice visual shadow impact because the apertures are really important. So that's the main bundle. So the only thing that we showed you there that wasn't in the main bundle is the tree, and I will show you the boards for that in a second and we'll go through it. The main bundle is just packed. That main card shape, that's literally, I can already think of 6 card shapes to make with that on its own without even really thinking about anything else, because you can use the ovals from the center as a card shape on their own. You can use the aperture for easy apertures. You can use the card shape just on its own. You can create books from it, and you can create layered cards using the spine as well, and that's without even exploring it further.
Now, I've already shown you one book. That first book was made by Janine. This is also made by Janine as well. This shows you how far you can take the collection if you want to be really adventurous and go for it. So you can make simple, very, very stylish, plain simple cards that can be done in minutes, or you can invest a bit of time and make something that is going to be basically a family heirloom of the future. As Carla was saying, a good friend of ours, a guy called Alex, we work with, he's just basically had a little boy 3 weeks ago, and we're thinking, why not make a beautiful book for him and his wife with pictures that they've sent us featuring in there. There's the tree. If you're wondering whether the tree will fit in the book if you're using the dies to make a book, yes, it will. The die for the die for the tree though is a separate item. Remember that. You can have tuck-ins. You can put little gift cards in there if you wish to. You can use some acetate to make windows to put pictures behind. This is, you know, this is going to take a bit of time to do, but wow. It just proves that with Carnation you can do plain and simple, or you can do things that are much more adventurous. The collection will grow with you as your needs change and vary. That's what it's all about. So let's show you another one quickly. Totally the opposite in that this is a quite quick and simple card to do, still beautiful though. And the vignettes, remember the artwork, you can print off tomorrow, you can print them single-sided or you can print them double-sided. And with the animals, of course, doing that, you can have one animal looking left, another one looking right, because you've got the double-sided vignettes available. So that kind of doubles up the way you can use them. We've got an alphabet in the show as well, which we'll come on to a bit later on, but that's a pretty simple one too. Portrait or landscape, it works well. But there it is, landscape with a baby girl, with the elephant with a flower in its trunk too. I love this one. This is done by Lavinia in our design team. Look at the little monkey holding on to the giraffe's neck. It's all thought through so well. The elephant and the giraffe are pointing at things, and the monkey, the cheeky little monkey, is just holding on there. So yeah, simple through to more intricate. It's a collection that is going to grow with you definitely, and at £80.99. Brilliant price. PayPal Pay in 3 and also Clear Pay is there for you if you want to spread the cost. If you'd rather just put it on a debit card or credit card, absolutely fine. 231001, and it will be with you in a matter of days. The guys are picking, packing and posting as I speak, and you won't find this collection at the moment anywhere else apart from us. Now the tree, let's move on to the tree quickly. I just want to show you. I think my favourite card, one of my favourite cards, is by Barbara here. I know there's silhouettes on there of images, but imagine them being your faces, your family's faces, or doing a card for a friend, let's say, and you can get hold of pictures, get them to send pictures to you and make a family tree. Or it could be a good fortune tree. We were talking about maybe putting magnets, like the Carnation Crafts magnets that you can find on the website. You could put a magnet behind the tree and put magnets on the characters so that you could actually kind of stick them on and the kids can have fun playing around with that. That'd be a really good idea, wouldn't it?
That's one of my demos, Mr. Dave.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that is one of my demos. The tree is really important. So one of the things, if you're brand new to us and you don't know much about Carnation, one thing to tell you is one thing that they absolutely just shine out. I mean, they shine out so many things, but one thing is their engineering. It's a big thing for Carnation. It's a big thing for us, and that's, as the Carnation crafters, what we love about them so much is this engineering, which takes our crafting further. And Nick did exactly that with this tree. It's incredibly important. It's a really valuable piece for us to have. You can see it in its naked form here, where it is just stunning, okay? You've got your card base, then you've got your mats and your layers sitting here. So that can be a card in and of itself, and as we've said, you've got your family tree aspects. But Nick took this a step further, and suddenly, instead of that, it can be that, but in addition to that, we can also make a 3D quadrant with this, simply by cutting down this panel down the center to the hole on one tree and doing the same but at the bottom on the next tree. So we print it twice and we slot the two together, which creates a 3D quadrant. That allows us then to literally do a 360-degree card, and we can literally decorate each side of it, and then it folds flat for postage. The thought behind that is, it's kind of simple, but actually once you start thinking about the complexities of how that would work and how the artwork needs to work in order to do that, it suddenly becomes a lot more complex than we think. But it's incredible. It's really, really incredible. Now, the other aspect to that is, because we've got that single line that runs down this tree, we can, of course, cut it in half. So I can use half of that to come through my aperture, and I can decorate this side on my aperture card, which we saw in the main bundle. So now we play together. We're playing together all the way through. If I want to make a book with that main card shape, I can absolutely do this and have the full tree in, have half the tree in. They blend and they work perfectly, and that's something that Carnation are very passionate about. We've also got our silhouettes here, so you can see the two sitting here. And then we've got a frame that sits around them, and we've got a base if you want to use it to sit behind them. So they sit forward, so you can see it all working together. For your family tree aspects, we also have the arrows, which is incredible, right? To create, you know, these two and this offshoot of the family and this offshoot of the family. And we've also got a little banner for names. Now, when you think about these, yes, they can be used for families, but they can also be used for things like craft groups. If we've got groups of people, if you've got, you know, like there's a lot of craft crops and that sort of thing, isn't it? Circles of friends, where you make this for your circle of friends as well, because it's a really nice way of doing it. It's a lovely thing to have, and lots of different aspects to play with that. But it is a separate item. It's not part of the main bundle. I got to tell you, if it was me today and I could, because we can offer you PayPal, Pay in 3 and ClearPay, I would be inclined to get the main collection and this. I think that's where you're getting your value and your insane amount of potential going forward.
It literally goes together so well, but you can buy them separately, okay? Another thing that's in the show, now bearing in mind there is a sort of a baby angle partly to this, we've got a fantastic Letters of the Alphabet collection for you. That also has 30% of the stock gone already. Look at these. They're beautiful letters. They're usable for absolutely everything, for every eventuality, but they do have a lovely kind of roundness about them, which leans towards baby cards really well. And you get your ordinals down the bottom there as well, and you get your numbers. So if you want to use those in conjunction with this collection, that would be a really, really good idea. And of course, you can see here on Janine's book, she used the Letters of the Alphabet to actually label the book at the front. So nice and big, easy to read letters and numbers and ordinals all together for $34.99.
Yeah, incredible value. And I think it's important to note, so the one we've just seen that Janine's done, that's just been cut in ordinary cardstock. If you use the vignettes that come with it, you'll see Nick has put shade lines in, or Nick and the team, I wasn't not sure entirely which one did which, but you can see that it becomes almost 3D looking. So we don't need to shape these out. They already have a 3D aspect to them. You can see it really well on the D here. When you've got that against a white background or a light background, you're going to get this insane 3D detail. Look at the 8. You can see it here, where you've got that lovely, lovely textural point. It's a really important alphabet. You're also getting, obviously, the 4 colorways. So it's not that when you download this that your Ds always have to be green. Of course, your D can be in pink, it can be in blue, or it can be in yellow. That's across the board. And you obviously can cut it in any colored cardstock that you wish as well. So the control's yours. But we do get that lovely 3D colorway when we download the artwork, which is free from the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk.
Absolutely. Let's show you what you can make with this collection today. Remember, this is the only place that you can buy it from at the moment. We launch every single month an exclusive collection to Carnation Crafts TV. It's only available through our website right now. You can obviously buy it if you're in America as well. You can buy it in the USA, you can buy it in the UK. We'll ship it to your door. If you're in the UK, it's free postage because you're spending over £50. If you're in the USA, your shipping and handling is capped at $14.95.
Yes.
Yeah, $14.95. That's all you'll pay, maximum shipping, if you're watching us and ordering in the USA.
Can I just explain that a little more as well? So you're shipping to the US. If you're just buying the collection itself, as far as I'm aware, that would be $4.95. If you want to add in your perfect papers, which I strongly advise anyone to do, that will take it to $14.95. That's only for 1 pack of papers. You could swap it for some pro print if you wanted, as far as I'm aware. But if you're just buying the bundle itself, that's $4.95, shipping and handling internationally. So just to be clear, because not all of our customers now are from the US. A lot of our international customers are all over the place. And a big hello to you all.
And Pam Simpson has made this card just to show you that you can be quite comical with this as well if you want to be, because the parachute's actually kind of lost direction a little bit, ended up in the tree, the monkey's helping out, and the giraffe's kind of seeing what's going on. Really, really cool. But that, again, is incorporating the tree element that is separate to the collection into the collection too. I do love that one. That's one of my favourite ones with the monkeys hanging from each other's tails. That's really, really cute. And again, if you want to make it a little bit more intricate and go a little bit more elaborate, let's say, you've got a lovely, almost like a theatrical card there.
Yeah, absolutely, although it's still not difficult. So when we were talking about the main card shape, we're talking about that spine that we make with the Coptic stitching here. If you want to, instead of making a book with that, actually make up a layered design where you get your little layers through your card. It's slightly different from the main aperture because we're using those from the side panel here. So what we create is layers. Now, if I just lay that down, you can see how each layer then becomes into creation. And from that, by using a piece of acetate on the front piece of it, we create something absolutely exquisite. See how the elephant seems to be sitting right at the back of the card. There seems to be a good deal of perspective difference between him and the giraffe, for instance, or the trees. It looks full and it looks deep and laden, but that's actually just some simple layers. So we can create incredible things. And I will just say, while I'm here, I have spoken to you this morning. I will just state it again. The sentiments that you see that you've got on here, you'll see them coming throughout the show and throughout my demos. In case you're wondering where those have come from, they're not part of today's download. However, you can get them free from the Carnation Crafts website as a set of digital stamps. You'll need to look for bundles of joy. So when you go onto the Carnation Crafts website, you can type in the search bar Bundles of Joy. That will bring up a previous baby collection that Carnation did, and it's beautiful, but that's besides the point. It has got digital stamps on there that you can download, and I just wanted to say that because I know we'll get questions asked. Where did you get your sentiments from? They're from there.
And Barbara Tradwell's made this wonderful card. She's made sort of like a Noah's Ark sort of idea, which is again showing you lots of different aspects and lots of different ways of actually using it. And because you've got the double-sided vignettes, there's the monkey looking to the right, there's the monkey looking to the left. They're both the same, but you wouldn't know that. But they're holding on to that sentiment in the middle. Really like that. And this again, bit of tongue-in-cheek. This is from Janine Dawson again, and it's wash day. So
I love that so much.
Really, really beautiful. So the Dreamland Safari collection, and if you look again at the tree, if you want to go for that, the family tree card shape, Carla's actually showing you how you can make it a three-dimensional ornament, which is quite amazing.
Yeah, so you've got a 360-degree card, so a 3D quadrant. So you've got your images that you can base around here, but as we turn it round, the card has got stuff on every single side of that quadrant. So it doesn't matter where you put this in your room, right? You're going to see something from the every single angle, and it is absolutely stunning. The ways we can play with this and the things that we can bring into it are just insane. I love this card shape. I love the main card shape. Like, this whole collection just sings, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
There's something about it, and there's no wonder it's going so fast. We had a big stock, and so you need to be fast with it because, as we know with Carnation, they sell out. And
the Dreamland card shape is responsible for this fantastic frame. Obviously it works landscape and portrait beautifully, with a little cheeky chappy in the middle of it, using one of the numbers from the Alphabet and Numbers collection too. Really exquisite. So that's again other ideas. You can make hundreds of different types of cards. Sometimes when you look at collections from other companies, you think, okay, I can do that with it, and I might be able to do that with it, but then when you come down to it, that's all you can do. With the Carnation collection, there's literally hundreds of different permutations and how you can use them.
Yeah, it's really, they're just clever, aren't they? Strip it right back. Look at this for a baby card. Strip it right back. Pare it back. Clean lines. Really clean, simple lines. Breathtaking card. Now absolutely breathtaking card. Some dimension. Absolutely stunning. Thank you to Pam. Love it.
The stork delivering the baby there, but not in this case. Slightly different, because the elephant is on his way. I'm coming. Look, isn't that just amazing? And this is done by Janine again as well. I think I've got all of Janine's cards over here. I'm on my way. So a different way of using the parachute. Not delivering the baby, but delivering the envelope. Elephant.
It's probably best that they don't deliver the envelope. I have got also a Janine card here. This is obviously an easel, and it's beautiful. It's using those teardrop and sweep nested that we brought you recently, the most recent ones. It's so pretty. This card is just delicious. Look at the colourways of it. How clever are the DT?
I know, absolutely stunning.
We have sat all morning going, these samples are insane. It's so, so pretty. You can see the dimension here. There's so many ways to play. And I think what's really important is when you look at the samples that Dave and I are showing you this morning, this is across the board from the DT. We've got different members that do all the cards for us. And you can see, how differently they've all made the cards. That's important because we want to be individual in our creations. But also the fact that, they've had so much fun. Every single one of them's exquisite, which means your cards are going to be exquisite as well, because we're all just crafters, right? So your cards are going to be just as exquisite as these. Where's your imagination taking you? That's the only difference, right? Where does your imagination take you compared to where does my imagination take me? You don't want to go where my imagination takes me. But the point is, you get to craft in so many ways just with one collection.
Carnation makes exquisite card making and crafting achievable. That's it at the end of the day. That's why it's got such a loyal following of fans. Hello to a few of you on Facebook today. I'll have a look at YouTube a bit later as well, because I can do both now. Morning, Linda Roundtree says, morning everyone. Think hubby has to order this when I get home. And the set too as well. Just had our third great-grandchild, Isaac, last Friday. So I think this one's a must-have. Absolutely, Linda. Congratulations from all of us.
Gorgeous name as well.
Sue Martin says, hello, Carla and Dave. My beautiful doggy is having surgery at the moment, so a distraction by you is just what I need. Lots of love. OMG, Sheila Parry says, I'm on the naughty step again. I've just ordered these. They are so beautiful. Loving the card base, Joanna Enyon says. Linda McLeod says, good morning, Carla, Dave, Miss Taz. Missed the 9 AM show, out walking my dog. What did I miss? well, you haven't missed it. It's still available, but the stock is going very quickly. And if you've just tuned in, it's the Dreamland Safari Collection, which we're offering you here. Demo to come, how to make that a stunning book, but have a look at what you could be making. Inspired, interested, intrigued? Are you a Carnation veteran? Have you been with us for a long time? Or are you just looking for the first time thinking, I didn't even know this was a thing? Carnation Craft's own TV channel. We're here regularly. Once a month we bring you an exclusive collection that you can't find anywhere else for the time being. And this is it today. It is the Dreamland Safari Collection. And if you want to order it, the easiest way to do it is on our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk, and then you can take advantage, if you want to, of PayPal Pay in 3 or Clear Pay if you want to spread the cost, or take advantage, of course, of that discount code as well, which will only get you the £80.99 if you quote CCDS10. So it's already a brilliant price at £89.99, but if you put that into the promo code box CCDS10, you'll get it for £80.99 just because you're watching us. It's like our thank you and our gift to you for tuning in today. Okay, more checks and more shout outs on YouTube and Facebook a bit later, but how to make the book.
Aye, let's have a look at making a page and then we'll show you how to put that in the book. There's no way I could demo a full book in one of the shows, but let's show you how to make a page and how to add it to the book. So I've got one of my base cards here. Look at those colours. Aren't they just glorious? Now that's your artwork. You're getting that free from the Carnation Crafts website. That'll be with you tomorrow. www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. So don't forget to go and get that for you. Now I've used some of my apertures here. Now for these, I will demo them again at 1 o'clock for you. But if you want to know how to make the apertures from those easy apertures from the main card shape, please do watch the 9 o'clock show this morning. I did give a full demo on that. So rather than repeating that, I will just go straight into this. Now I'm using a 3mm foam tape here. I'm not going too chunky because I'm going to put it into a book and I don't want it to obviously impede. However, I did experiment and you can do a 5mm for your pages and it does look pretty exquisite. So I'm just going to remove that and remove that. That gives me a really beautiful, there's something really vintage about it. I really love it. And then all I'm going to do is just pop this into the center to cool that tone down. Just let me make sure I've got that the right way around. So just cool it down. And I love the fact that I've got this really beautiful pill shape, And the great thing about it is because my apertures are working the same way that they are, not only do I get the aperture, but I still get another layer, like a frame almost, around my little pill shape in the middle. So I am going to utilize that shape rather than just ignore it. So I'm still going to bring it in.
And to have those easy apertures as a die, it's just such a genius idea.
Listen, apertures are just solid. They're just not the easiest thing to do in the craft industry, and I think a lot of us just avoid it because, do you know what, life's too short to really struggle with something. So because Carnation have given us this really easy access to do an easy aperture card where we know literally millimetre for millimetre it's going to be perfect, that's a boon. Tiny amounts of glue. Glue is sticky, you don't need a lot of it.
That's your motto.
Literally.
You don't need
I
much.
say it to my children, anyone who'll listen, random people passing me in the street. Glue sticky!
Complete strangers. Yep.
Anyone who will listen.
In Waitrose.
Literally.
Or you, glue sticky.
Glue is sticky, you don't need much. And I do it in that tone as well.
Yes. Not at all scary.
No. I am that crazy lady at this point. So, tiny amounts of glue. Did I say that? I'm just going to pop this on here and I'm going to frame this out. These are amazing. Watch how this all comes together. Place it in.
I don't know of any other company that gives you detail and attention to detail like Carnation does.
Look at this. Watch how this starts to build out and shape out in such a quick, easy way.
I mean, it's the difference between an okay card and a stunning card. That's the difference. That's
no,
why.
It's the difference between a normal card and a Carnation card.
True.
That's what it is. Place this in, watch it frame. Watch it frame out.
Look at that.
No effort. I mean, some effort, just in case Carnation decide not to pay me. Some effort, Carnation. So let's just tiny, tiny, tiny amounts of glue. Don't let this splodge out.
I mean, even these wonderful ornate corners have got the artwork available, which you can print off tomorrow. The vignettes are available the day after the launch at carnationcrafts.co.uk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're bringing in some textural detail, a visual hike. Just add in small amounts.
And those everyday glue applicators, they're on the website as well. The everyday glue's on the website too.
Oof, I love both of those.
Yeah. It just makes it so easy to put just the tiniest amount on those really delicate kind of filigree areas.
Because glue is...
Sticky?
You don't need much.
You don't need much. Glad you said that.
Thanks, Dave, just in case nobody knew. Literally my mantra.
Mm-hmm.
I think
we should get you a t-shirt printed with that one.
I think I say it in my sleep. Glue is sticky. You don't need much.
I'm just really excited for everyone watching that's ordered this today to see what you make with these collections, whether it's going to be mainly cards, whether it's going to be books, whether it's going to be inserts for maybe picture frames, because they'd be great mounts, wouldn't they, in picture frames?
Absolutely. As well. 5mm on this, so I'm raising it higher than my apertures, but not excessively, because it's just my midpoint.
And this is such the beautiful
I love
image.
this.
I do too.
The shadow on this is just exquisite.
Special delivery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I need to break up that green a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not shaping. I'm okay with it exactly as it is.
And remember the artwork for the parachute with the little baby. You've got a blue option for boy, pink for girl, and you've got a green and a yellow if you're not quite sure what the person's going to have. So something for everyone there.
Or if it's your pet, somebody's pet having,
yeah, could be. Yeah.
Having little bubbers.
Yeah.
Look at that. This. Just that beautiful playway. The kind of, you've got the frills of the clouds that just with those straight edges. I love it.
But the extra height gives you that shadow, which is really quite dramatic. Love it to bits.
Right, now I'm going in with a little bit of textural extra, just to bring in and break up some of the white space at the bottom. But I got to tell you, I love that just as it is. I'd be okay with that. Sometimes I like things to be very, very clean and pared back. But let's have a look at some of the florals, because I want you to see as much of the collection as you can without over-facing the card. So I'm going to place this into the center, but I'm going to make sure it overhangs just so I get some extra shadow. Remember, shadows are free.
Suzanne Page on Facebook says, I do this in my sleep. I shout out, I love Carnation Crafts and glue is sticky. There you go.
So it's not just
it's
me
rubbing
then.
off. It's rubbing off.
Have I unfortunately
I love that.
ruined people? Glue is sticky. You do not need a lot.
Hi to Linda
sorry,
Wilson,
guys.
Carol Hart, Suzanne Page, Linda McLeod. Hi to you, Joanna Ainan as well. Linda McLeod too. Loving the little elephant, she says. Lots of you on Facebook.
I love it.
I'll check out YouTube now, if I can remember how to
Don't
do it.
you outdo yourself, Dave. You know you're of a
can't get the
certain
messages.
age. He's handing it to Taz
Yeah,
now
Taz is
because
going
he
to find me
can't
the
do
messages.
it. Right. Now, one thing that's really important here is I'm only going to structure out one flower. I'm only going to shape out one flower in particular, and that's going to be my central point. And I've got a reason for that I don't want to detract from the central pieces. I don't want it to squash when it's in the book, but also I want that central protrusion under the baby. So my main pink flower here is going to be shaped. The rest will remain flat. So all I need to do now is make sure that I'm in the right spots for them. So I'm keeping everything without an extra shaping. Now that's going to be an option for you. If I was just making this as a card, I would absolutely shape out every single piece, but I'm not. So I'm going to add a little bit of white. That predominantly is going to be covered by the yellows, but I'm okay. I just want a hint of it, and I'm just cooling it down. I'm giving it a cooler texture where there's a lot of green, okay? So we're finding that colour balance. And then I want to bring these two in at the side, but the first thing I've got to establish is how big is my centre point. Now I'm going to shape that properly, but I want those to tuck just slightly under. So I'm happy with that. I'm keeping it flat so I can just pull it back, tiny amount of glue, and I can place it. Then I'm just going to work the other side. Same thing. Where is this sitting? How do I tuck it? I've got it about there and I want to shape it that way so it sort of sits symmetrically. Remove that, finger on, lift it, glue it. Hold it, stick it.
Just a little bit.
It's like the Bop It game. So now I'm going to take this. Let's get some pretty shape to this. I'm going to shape it cupped upwards. I want it to protrude slightly. I'm not going to be able to do a lot with that. What I don't want is to get some insane cupping, because obviously when I put my book pages on top of it, it's going to squash a lot anyway. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of shape on here. Now there is alternative ways of doing this, and I'll be very quick. If you want to just do it where you've got a tiny amount of shape, turn it over to the side that you don't want showing. And I'll do it this way instead. Use your small ball tool. If you wanted to just cup ever so slightly, we're just going to go around in a spiral, or you could just actually simply do it with your finger. If you want it to be flatter but with shape, turn it over, use the small ball tool, and just work your edges, okay? And that's just going to give you a slight extra hint of shape just on the edges of the petals. That's going to allow it to kind of sit proud but without being excessive, but it's going to give you a shape on the top of it where those petals go outwards, and then I can just literally poke it in the center and you see all your petals will go up and over, okay?
Yep.
And that's
Brilliant.
just basic paper sculpting, nothing too excessive.
Linda Poland on YouTube says, it still blows my mind when I see what Carnation can do. The artwork is amazing. I agree with you, Linda. And Jill actually asks on YouTube, I've ordered mine. Can I ask if the sentiment vignette is edible?
No. Okay, well that's a multi-layered question. Is it edible as in, can you make it edible? That would depend on the papers that you use. It would depend on the inks that you use in your printer. So you would need to have the appropriate things for catering, and we don't have those, so we can't advise on it.
But I think they are available. You can
download them and print them on whatever you want with whatever ink you want. So if you've got the kind of cake making inks that you get for those sort of things, absolutely, 100%, because it's just a download.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you would be able to do it that way. That mean?
Do you mean edible? Oh, legible. Yeah. No, I think she means edible. I think.
Because you obviously, if that's what you mean, because I do know that cake makers can print sentiments and put them on cakes.
Yeah, provided using the right ink.
But you've got to use the proper sugar papers, haven't you, and the proper inks to do that. So we won't advise you on that just because it's not something that we do, and I don't want to tell you something the wrong way. But yeah, absolutely, if you're just using a printer, no problem.
Chaz wonders, I was wondering if the wordings that is in the sample of the books, will that be available tomorrow? You can get those now, can't you, the sentiments?
This depends which wording from which books. If it's the story, I think that's just Janine's little brain. I don't think
I
that's
see what you mean. Yeah,
Carnation.
the actual, the story. That's just done basically by Janine herself and then printed out from the PC, if that's what you mean. If you mean the sentiments, they're available to print out now. What was the collection you have to search for to get those?
Bundles of Joy.
Bundles of Joy. Search for Bundles of Joy, and those sentiments that we've featured on the front of our cards, they're available to print off now. They're free of charge as well.
So what I will say is, if you watch us tomorrow, either at 10 or 12, I think that's when we're on.
Yep.
Let's maybe say 12 o'clock, because I'll do a composition show tomorrow at 12. So because we'll have a bit more time then, I will read you Janine's story. We'll read it from beginning to end because it's lovely. But we won't take time up today on launch to do that, but we will do that in full tomorrow, so you can have a little surprise. Now, I've done my page for my book, which I'm very happy with, and now I'm going to attach it into my book. So the rest of my book has been pre-made. So I've got my spines sitting there. I showed you earlier how to do those, but let me show you again in case you are just tuning in for the first time. One of the dies that you get here has got 3 wide layers, and each one has got a line through it. I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to take that one, and then I'm going to take the third one. Okay, so all my big folds have now been folded, and it means that if I was to put a strip of glue there, I can stick those together. Once they're stuck together, I'm just going to pull that spine piece down there, and then it's got another score line just there, and I'm going to do the same on each one of those. So super simple.
So can you make the book as thick or as long as you want?
Yeah, so once I've got those and I've glued my pieces together, those big inserts that you see here, that's one. If I wanted to then piece together another set, 2, I can make my book that wide, or I could make my book that wide. I can do whatever I want. I can make as big a book or as small a book as I want. If that's obviously if I was going to do it landscape. If I wanted to make a portrait book, I can also stick 2 together here. And that's what we're going to be doing on this one. So I have stuck 2 together. So as you see, the height of mine is there, and then there's a little join there, which is my next one.
That looks so realistic.
It's clever, isn't it?
Very
Then I
clever.
can open this and you can see I've got one page where I haven't stuck anything at all. I've got the rest of the pages of my book all complete, ready to go. And I've cut mine down because I was doing demos, obviously, so mine don't need to be quite as full. You will do yours however you want. Now you'll see on the back of this, in order to keep it neat, I have popped in another piece just to keep it neat. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. But if I just lay this down on here and glue it, when I turn it over, you're going to see those sides of it. And that's not really a problem, but I quite like to cover my workings. I think I'd be more inclined to want to keep that kind of covered with another element, and I'll do that in a second. So all we're going to do is take some adhesive. So we're using wet glue for this. You can use red liner, but you got to know what you're doing if you're using red liner tape for this.
There's no going back with red liner.
There's no going back, and you will have ruined a full page. So I'm going to be more inclined to want to use wet glue and hold it for longer. What I'm doing is still not using much, but I am transferring it right across that piece. And I'm going to do the same on the one below. So what I'm doing is essentially putting a blob of glue here, and then I'm using my applicator to smooth that right the way across, distribute that adhesive straight down. If I was ever going to use too much glue, it would be on something like this, because I'm going to cover the workings. So if it does splodge slightly, I'm okay. I'm just going to hold that in place, make sure I've got it even with the other, which I have, and then I can hold that and make sure that that adhesive has taken hold. Once I've got that in place, and believe me, I would be holding on to that for a couple of minutes. I haven't got time, it's demo, so I'm going to have to trust and have faith that it has adhered. But what I'm going to do very gently is lay that down, and once it's in place, I'm going to take another of my apertures, and we'll go in for a paler green that sits on top of that other green, and I'm just going to glue this in so that it covers up the main point of that working, where I just feel like that edge isn't really what I want to see. So all I'm going to do now, a little bit of adhesive. Now, when we're doing this and you're doing it with a longer piece, remember glue is sticky, but I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1. So I'm going for every single center point. You can put more in if you want. Lots of people like to get their glue bottle and squish it out. I don't know what that is. And squish it out. I dread to think at this stage. And squish it out. Remember, paper and water don't mix. You don't want anything that is too liquid on on paper, because it will cause waves in your paper. The less amount of glue you get, the less kind of reaction you'll have with your paper and that liquid. And that is just sticking that in to make sure I've covered all of my workings. I've got it neat and simple at the back, but that means now I've got my front cover. I've got the page that we just made. Baby's coming, we're telling a story, you're depicting things as we're going through. You've got the fun. I could have hung up some baby clothes here. As we go through those pages, you're just bringing in different elements. And then there is a belt that you can use, and I will just show you that, and you can use it with magnets if you so choose. So just to bring this in so you can see it. And I will quickly do it, but I'm not going to work it with magnets. If I was, my other demo that I've got with the book does have the magnets, but I wanted to show you both ways. All I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take my pokey, if I can find it, just break the weave of those fibres, because I need to manipulate it. I'm going to make sure that it's glued at the right space here. So I'm going to take this, wet glue, use red liner if it's easier, place this on. If you wanted to put a magnet, you would put the magnet behind and behind here, so you'd put it in between those two pieces, and you'd put another piece behind here to cover the magnet so the working is not there. When I place it on the back, however, I would say I'm going to do it with wet glue. If I'm you at home, I'm going to use red liner, and the reason being, specifically on this piece, I want this to be strong. This is the piece that's going to get manipulated and moved the most often. Would I trust wet glue to hold that for long enough? No. Why? Just because it's wet glue and it's not really that stable, so I'd be inclined to
Red liner would do the
red
trick.
liner.
Yep.
But again, if I'm going to put that belt on there, I don't want my workings, but also I can stabilize that and make it stronger simply by placing another piece behind and gluing that straight down, because if I glue that, we're holding it in two places. That would be the back of my book. I can bring it to the front and I can have it held, and I would have my magnet straight there.
The thing is, with cards, they get bought, they get sold, they get put up, they get taken down for occasions, whether it's a new baby, birthday, anniversary, Christmas, whatever it might be. With something like this, you're not buying something that's going to be put up one minute and taken down the next. You're buying something that's going to become an heirloom in your family. Your children will probably inherit it, or the family that you give it to will pass it down generation to generation. So that's the potential of this collection. Yes, you can make very simple, very simple and clean and stylish cards like this, for example, that could be done in probably 15-20 minutes, I would have thought. Or you can go a little bit more complicated. I mean, this one is using one of the free downloadable papers that you can print off, having that beautiful stripe at the background. We just used some of the baby elements there on the washing line, and the letters of the alphabet used, of course, as well. So that's not using any of the characters at all. And then you can, go a little bit more into it and make it, say, kind of a halfway house as far as like an intermediate stage, that sort of thing. Adding the characters in, adding the foliage in, this one here again, having all the washing on the line. If you want to go for the family tree, remember, that can incorporate with this collection beautifully well. And don't forget the tree, if you do go for it, it's £34.99. You get the silhouettes, you get the arrows to point to different members and different generations of the family. But you've also, of course, got those three-dimensional elements, which means it's an ornament as well as a card. And it will fit in the book. Size permitting, of course, as well. So it's 231007 if you want to go for the tree today. What Carla said earlier, well, I totally agree with. If you can go for it, go for the main collection with the tree, because it's like a marriage made in heaven. It really, really is. But a few more cards quickly from the team, and that book from the team as well. As we said before, the words and the verses inside this book were literally made up by Janine, who's made this book. So yeah, you can print your verses off and your stories off yourself if you want to. If you want, of course, the actual sentiments that we've been showing you on the front of some of the cards like these, Bundles of Joy is the actual collection you need to find on our website, and the vignettes are there for that particular collection, and this is part of that. Okay, so you can print those off right now if you want to. And then these are basically the apertures, technically the waste from the apertures. Vera's put these together to make a gorgeous card. So you can make big things, you can make small things, you can make very simple things, or slightly more intricate. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, it's about changing through how you want to craft, isn't it? Don't waste any parts of that book cover, the shapes for your easy aperture, because it's not even so much that the waste, that it's designed to be your two-way. You get to do two different things with it. When we're working with apertures, what I think is really, really lovely as well is to be able to work over the edge of apertures, like we see here from Vera, where you've got elements like the leaves coming over the edge of the card, and you can just see them placed on the outside there. But then we've also got things that are tucked further in, like the elephant's bottom, different parts of the leaves at the top of the card. So it's about working with shape and texture there, isn't it, and dimension, bringing things forward and using those apertures to absolutely the best of their ability. But that to me is just a stunning, stunning, beautiful card.
And before we go, we'll be back at 1 with our final show of the day. Don't forget your perfect papers. If you want to get those, and these have been produced in exactly the right colourways to complement the artwork. Remember, the artwork from the Dreamland Safari will be available to print off tomorrow from Carnation's website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. If you want the perfect papers, they're not papers really, they're card. 300 GSM, 48 sheets. Some of them are printed, some of them are plain, but you're going to have a perfect colour coordinated match with the artwork that's on the vignettes. 231009, $14.99, but of course if you're buying the main collection and you add those into your order, it's free P&P for you in the UK.
Aye.
Okay, we're off for some lunch. Join us for our third and final show of the afternoon, then at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Enjoy the collection, order it now. If you do that right now, it'll be picked, packed and posted today. See you in about an hour.